So according to Fox News, Joe Biden is actually showing some backbone with the Republicans. Everyone knows he had invited Republicans to the White House to discuss a bill. And, we were, talking, on this show about how Joe Biden, wants to do everything bipartisan, and that, he capitulates to Republicans' demands for the sake of bipartisanship. And the worry was that he was going to cave to the Republicans' desire to cut the COVID-19 bill, basically into 1/3 of what it originally was. Now, the Republicans had no state aid in their bill. They lowered stimulus checks to just $1,000. They lowered aid for schools from $200 million to $20 million. I mean, like, you can't make this stuff up. And I think it's like, oh my goodness, Joe Biden, whose bipartisan deals usually just end up being him capitulating to Republicans, he's going to capitulate to the Republicans. But apparently, he surprised us all, threw us all for a loop. According to Fox News, Joe Biden he met with the Republicans, and the Republicans presented their alternative COVID-19 bill, which he swiftly rejected, and now the House and Senate are moving to pass the bill through budget reconciliation. This was totally not expected. Okay, so if you remember, a lot of people are saying, "Hey, why don't you do a standalone COVID bill?" Which they didn't do, because Republicans probably would have voted for that, right? Like Josh Hawley, for instance. Ted Cruz said he wanted a bill for $2,000 checks. A lot of people did. So you probably could have got that passed. And I criticized Joe Biden on this channel for not doing that. And I also criticized him for changing $2,000 checks to $1,400, which, let's be clear, Joe Biden and the Democrats lied about $2,000 checks. They lied, okay? There's no way around it. They lied. But that being said, I just, never forget. I don't want anyone to forget that they lied. But that being said, they were saying, okay, well, if you're going to do a big bill like this, fine, that's fine. But it's a good stuff in the bill, but let's pass it through budget reconciliation. They did not pass it. They were not going to pass it through budget reconciliation. It didn't look like. Joe Biden said, we want to do this bipartisan, want to pass it with the Republicans. And apparently, when he went to meet with them and they presented their alternative bill, their bill was rejected. And he said, look, you can work with us. Well, you can support this bill, but we are not going to capitulate to your demands. And we're going to pass this bill without the GOP, if necessary, through budget reconciliation. So I don't know if you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, Bernie Sanders was saying the bill would get passed through reconciliation. And it appears as though he's right, that it will be passed through budget reconciliation. Now, to remind you all really quickly, budget reconciliation is the process where the majority party can pass a bill through the Senate without the need for 60 votes. Because basically, you need 60 votes to avoid a filibuster, right? And Democrats do not have 60 votes. They don't have anywhere near 60 votes. They've got 51 votes. And really, sometime 48. Because Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin are Republicans, basically. They're Democrats, but they're Democrats in name only. Like, even more to the extreme. Like, they're basically Democrats who are to the right of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. So, Joe Manchin actually voted 60% of the time with Donald Trump and with the Republicans. So even though he's a Democrat, it's almost like he carcasses with the Republicans, and Kyrsten Sinema is similar. But anyway, I digress. So they only have 51 votes, which means they cannot avoid a filibuster. But budget reconciliation is the process that allows them to avoid a filibuster by saying, hey, well, this is a bill that's a finance bill, and we only need a simple majority. So basically, you cannot filibuster a budget reconciliation bill. This is awesome that they're doing this. I'm really glad that the bill is going to get passed. Now, there is a downside. The budget reconciliation process does take a while. So it might be a little bit before the aid gets out. Now, they had previously said, oh, we're going to get this done day one, which, again, they lied, okay? They lied. I'm sorry. There's no pretty way of saying it. They lied. They were not going to get it done day one. So, unfortunately, according to multiple reports coming out of the White House, stimulus checks may not come till March, and they may not even come till the first week of April, which is ridiculous and atrocious, but hey, at least we're getting the bill passed. My thing is, like, people need this aid right now, They need it now. But at least now we know that a bill will be passed through reconciliation. Now, maybe they can do something to speed the process up. I don't know, because I know that in order for them to pass these type of bills, they have to cut the budget somewhere else. And a lot of people are afraid that they'll cut Medicare and Medicaid, but I don't know. I would like to know if there's a possibility, and I haven't looked into it much, so take my word with a grain of salt for this portion of the video, but I would like to know if it's possible to get a PAYGO waiver for the COVID relief bill. Because, a couple months ago, when the House won, when the House was voting to reelect Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, the progressives said, hey, okay, we will vote for you, but you're going to have to give us a PAYGO waiver for Medicare for All. So she gave them the PAYGO waiver, which means that they don't have to cut the budget, in other places in order to institute Medicare for All. So they don't have to make cuts to the budget on things like Medicare or Medicaid or anything else, So I'm wondering if they can do a similar waiver process to this. I don't know, but I will find out for you guys, and we'll talk about it in the next video. But yes, stimulus checks do look like they are on the way. Hold tight. It's going to be a matter of time, unfortunately, because of the way that the Democrats decided to do this. They would have passed a standalone bill. They would have gotten the support, and then they would have been able to pass a separate COVID relief bill with budget reconciliation, with all the other things that they want to do. Which, look, I'm not complaining about this bill. It's a good bill. There is COVID relief. There's funding for schools. There's funding for states. There's funding for the COVID vaccine. And there's a $15 minimum wage increase by 2025, which, come on, man, it should be earlier than 2025, but hey, I'll take it before the Democrats change their mind and don't do it at all. So, yeah, this is a win here on the front as far as the stimulus goes. Now, like I said, hopefully they can speed up the process, because a lot of people, they need this money now. They need relief now. Hopefully the process can be speeded up. But this is positive news. This is good news. Good news. So, stimulus checks will be passed, it looks like, as of right now, through budget reconciliation. And Joe Biden showed the backbone for once in his career. Credit to where credit is due. And your stimulus check should be on the way very, very soon.